Have you ever laid in bed at the end of a long day, scrolled through your phone one last time, and felt a quiet, gnawing exhaustion? Not just a physical tiredness, but a soul-deep weariness. A sense that you're running on a treadmill, working so hard, optimizing, hustling, but the finish line just keeps moving further away. What if the secret to a happy life isn't found in that next promotion, that perfect relationship, or that dream vacation? What if the greatest minds in history were trying to tell us that we've been looking in all the wrong places? Over 2,000 years ago, in the bustling, chaotic city of Athens, a philosopher named Epicurus bought a small plot of land. He called it the garden. Now, when we hear the word Epicurean today, we think of luxury, indulgence, fine wines and decadent feasts. We picture a wild, never-ending party. But the truth of Epicurus's garden was the exact opposite. And it holds a revolutionary cure for our modern burnout. His garden wasn't a lavish estate. It was a simple, quiet space on the outskirts of the city, a sanctuary from the political drama, the commercial frenzy, and the social climbing of Athens. And who did he invite into this sanctuary? Not just the rich and powerful. In a move that was scandalous for his time, he welcomed everyone, women, slaves, outcasts. People who were considered second-class citizens everywhere else were equals in the garden. And what did they do there? They didn't have lavish banquets. They ate simple meals of bread, olives, and cheese. They didn't chase thrills or intense experiences. They walked, they talked, they cultivated deep friendships, and they studied the nature of the universe. They intentionally disconnected from the city's frantic pace. Their goal wasn't excitement. It was a radical, almost forgotten state of being, tranquility. This is the uncomfortable truth at the heart of Epicurus's philosophy. We think happiness is about addition. Adding a new car, adding a new follower, adding a new achievement to our resume. Epicurus taught that true, lasting happiness is almost entirely about subtraction. He believed there were two types of pleasure. The first are the flashy, exciting ones. A slice of rich chocolate cake, a thrilling movie, a big night out. These are great, but they're temporary. They are like a sugar rush, they spike and then they crash, often leaving you wanting more. But then there's a second, deeper kind of pleasure. It's the pleasure of not being in pain. The pleasure of not being anxious. The pleasure of not being hungry or cold. It's the quiet contentment you feel when you have good friends you can trust, when your mind is calm, and when you feel safe. This is the baseline. This is the natural state of human happiness. It isn't a peak we have to climb, but a peaceful valley we must learn to return to. It's an idea so simple it feels profound. True happiness is not a frantic chase for more, but a gentle art of needing less. 2,000 years later, we may not live in ancient Athens, but we all live in a city that's infinitely louder, more demanding, and more chaotic. It's called the internet. It's called hustle culture. It's the endless scroll of other people's highlight reels, the pressure to monetize your hobbies, the feeling that if you're not optimizing every second of your day, you're falling behind. Think about a typical day. You wake up and the first thing you see is someone else's perfect morning routine. You go to work and feel the pressure to do more, be more, achieve more. You come home, and you're told you should have a side hustle, you should be learning a new skill, you should be networking. It is a culture of constant, frantic addition. We are all desperately trying to add enough to our lives to finally feel like we are enough. And it is leaving us exhausted, anxious, and empty. This is where that ancient wisdom from a quiet garden becomes a lifeline. What if the solution to this modern exhaustion isn't a better productivity app, a bigger 5-year plan, or more discipline? What if we just stopped? What if we applied that golden sentence to our own frantic lives? True happiness is not a frantic chase for more, but a gentle art of needing less. It reframes the entire problem. The goal is no longer to win the race. The goal is to realize you have the power to simply step off the track. So, here's the wisdom we can put in our pocket. The first tool is called the Tranquility Audit. For 1 week, carry a small notebook or use a notes app on your phone. Every time you feel a spike of anxiety, stress, or envy, just pause and write down the trigger. What caused it? Was it a specific app on your phone? Was it reading the news? Was it a conversation with a certain person? Be a gentle detective of your own mind. At the end of the week, look at your list. This is not a list of your failings. It is a map. It's Epicurus handing you a blueprint of the things you can begin to gently subtract from your life. The second tool is building your modern garden. This isn't about adding another complicated project to your to-do list. It's about being intentional with the simple things. First, identify one simple, non-demanding pleasure you already have access to. A cup of tea by a window. Listening to one song without doing anything else. A short walk without your phone. That's it. Schedule it into your day like it's the most important meeting you have. Because it is. Second, identify one friendship that doesn't feel like performing. The person you can be quiet with. The friend who doesn't drain your energy. Reach out to them this week, not for a big plan, but to share a simple moment. A quick call, a shared article, a quiet coffee. This is how you tend to your own garden. Epicurus taught us that happiness isn't a grand destination we have to hustle and strain to reach. It's our natural state, a quiet baseline of peace that is already there, waiting for us underneath all the noise, all the pressure, and all the things we think we need. You don't need to earn your peace. You just need to uncover it. If this idea resonated with you, consider subscribing to join our conversation. Next time, we'll explore why a Roman emperor, one of the most powerful men in history, believed the key to unbreakable strength was to imagine complete and total disaster.